Counting and cutting calories is one of the most promoted strategies to lose weight, but does it really work? Best-selling author of the Obesity Code, Dr. Jason Fung, says it commonly does not. He joined Vital Signs host Brendon Fallon to highlight the crucial hormone factor missing from the equation.
I know from your writing that you identify insulin as this key hormone that tells the body to store fat, and that a higher carb diet will lead to more insulin and more storage of fat. So does that mean if you're eating less carbs, you're going to have less insulin, less fat storage, and you can lose weight without having to do something like intermittent fasting?
Yeah, so remember, absolutely. So you don't need to fast long periods of time to lose weight. I mean, in the 70s, they were fasting sort of from dinner time, maybe 6 or 7 at night, to breakfast time, maybe 7 or 8. So you're talking 12, 13 hours every single day. So not like long fast, not like 24 hours, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. So you can certainly lose weight. The point about insulin is that insulin is a natural hormone. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with insulin. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is telling you to store body fat. Certain foods are going to stimulate more insulin than others. And what people have done is they've brainwashed us into thinking that the only thing that's important is the calories, but that's not true. If you look at food actually contains the chemical energy that's contained, which is the calories, but it also contains instructions for your body as to what you're supposed to be doing with those calories. So every time you eat, and every food is going to be different, your body is going to release different hormones. So when you eat cookies, you're going to release a lot of insulin because there's a lot of sugar, there's a lot of refined carbohydrates. If you were to eat broccoli, then you're going to release a lot less insulin. So if you have 100 calories of cookies, you have very high insulin response. You eat 100 calories of broccoli, very low insulin response. Well, because our body runs on hormones, that's the instructions. It's like the instruction manual, right? So our body says high insulin. What do I do with those 100 calories? Well, high insulin equals I store all of these 100 calories into body fat right away. So you have 100 calories that you've eaten of cookies, goes into body fat. Well, there's nothing left for the rest of your body. So then you're going to want to go eat some more food because, your body's like, I don't have anything. Your heart, your liver, your kidneys are like, I don't have anything. You stuck all those calories into storage. I don't have any. If you eat broccoli, well, insulin is low. So those instructions to your body says, okay, put a little bit into storage. But the rest of it is good for you. Your heart, your kidney, your brain, they all have energy to go. So therefore your body says, well, I don't need to eat. I have plenty of energy. So even though they're the same calories, the instructions are different. And I don't understand why. So we pretend that that hormonal response is utterly irrelevant, because it's not. I mean, that's the way the human body works. Why pretend that it doesn't work the way it does, right? So remember, for every calorie that you eat, your body has a choice: store it or burn it. And which one it does is very important if you're worried about how much gets stored, right? It's just like if you have money. Say you have $100. Well, you can save it or you can spend it, right? And if you're worried about how much your savings are, well, obviously it's important the instructions you gave for that $100. Did you save it or did you spend it? That's really important. Why would you pretend that it's not, right? But people in the calorie world would say, well, it's all about the $100. Everything else doesn't matter. Same with the calories. They say it's all about the 100 calories. Everything else doesn't matter. Why wouldn't it matter?
I know that you've spoken about this concept of body set weight, Dr. Fung, this idea that people will naturally gravitate, given enough time, to this set weight, regardless of how much or little they eat. And this must be incredibly frustrating for people trying to lose weight. How can people genuinely change their body set weight?
Yeah, so this is the concept of the body set weight, which is it's sort of like a thermostat, right? So a thermostat in a room, for example, you set room temperature, and if it gets too hot, it'll turn on the air conditioning. It's automatic. And if it gets too cold, it's going to turn on the heat, all the way, always adjusting back the room back to that sort of ideal temperature. And the body has a very similar homeostatic mechanism where you have a certain weight. And if you go above the weight, your body is actually going to try to burn more calories. And they've done this study where they take people, they force feed them, and so that they gain weight and they gain 10% body weight. And what happens is when you measure their metabolic rate, it actually goes up. So your body actually tries to burn it off. So they actually burn about 400 or 500 calories more than before in an effort to get the weight back down. And of course, it goes the other way too. So if you lose weight, then your body burns fewer calories to try and get that weight back up. And so the question is not, how do I adjust my calories to bring my weight up? So if you think about this homeostatic mechanism, so say you have a room temperature, it's at a room temperature. Now you bring in a little portable heater and you heat up the room, saying, I'm too cold, I want to heat up the room. So you heat up the room. The problem, of course, is that the thermostat is going to sense that the room temperature has gotten higher, it's gotten hotter, so it's going to turn on the air conditioning. So you've got the heat going and the air conditioning going at the same time. Same thing in your body. So your body, if it has a weight that's set and you don't like that weight, now you want to drop your weight, right? So you eat fewer calories. The problem is the body is going to sense, oh, my weight has gone down. So I'm going to make you more hungry, or if that doesn't work, I'm going to start slowing down my metabolism so that I get my body weight back up. So the question of how to get the room higher, hotter or colder is not about how much heat I can bring in or how much air conditioning I can bring in. The question is, how do I set that thermostat? Same thing in the body. So if you have a body set weight, which is set too high for you, the question is not about how many calories do I need to cut or how many whatever. Because if you simply cut your calories, your body will then lower your metabolic rate to bring the weight back up. The question is, how do you adjust that body set weight? And what sets it? Well, same as everything else. There's obviously a component of genetics, but it all comes down to the hormones. So if you think about genetics can explain a lot of the interpersonal differences. So certain people are more prone to weight gain than others. That happens, right? Some people are sort of born very chubby and some people are born very skinny. Everybody knows somebody who's super, super skinny, and no matter what they do, they can't gain weight, right? Most of us worry about the other side. But there's a huge genetic component to it. It's about 70% actually. But what it doesn't explain is how an entire population, such as really the population of the world, it used to be an American problem, but now it's a worldwide problem, how the entire world got fatter. Because our genetics have not changed in the last 50 years on a worldwide scale. So therefore, something is gradually moving our body set weight up. And what sets the body weight? Same thing that happens with everything else. It's really up to the hormones. So if you give a lot of insulin, if you increase the amount of insulin that people are generating, you're going to move that body set weight up. If you increase the amount of GLP it's producing, for example, by giving Ozempic or Mounjaro, well, you're going to gradually move that body set weight down. So it's really the interplay of all these hormones that feed into weight loss.